Hey, what's up guys? So we're here to check out the new Time Thief Xyz monster that just got announced for the extra pack in 2019, which actually is crazy because this is supposed to be TCG exclusive archetypes like the Dangers as well as, you can see in the background, the Valkyries. But Time Thieves, apparently they're coming out with a OCG exclusive of a TCG exclusive archetype and they get it first. I know, it doesn't make sense. But guys, they could be coming out with Dangers here very soon and maybe even new Valkyrie support to make that a more viable archetype. And if you guys want to see that, if they come out with new Dangers, I will definitely cover that very, very soon. So if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and turn on that bell and definitely be notified. But we're here to check out the effect of the new Time Thief, so let's go ahead and do that. So next up we got Time Thief Perpetua over here. This is a rank 4 Dark Psychic Xyz effect monster with 1900 attack and 2500 defense points. And it is a generic, which is actually important. But anyways, it's 2 level 4 monsters. It says you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. So the first effect is during the standby phase, you get to detach a material from this card, then target a Time Thief monster in your graveyard except itself and special summon it. The second effect is a quick effect that lets you target one exceeded monster you control, except for this card, and you get to attach one Time Thief card from your deck to it as material. Now, what's interesting with the second effect over here is there are other cards, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, oh, you just bring back the other Time Thief Exceed, and then you go ahead and attach potentially a trap card on it, and then you can bounce a card. That'd be like the most generic use of it, and it is probably going to be used for that. But if you guys didn't know, there are other Exceed monsters that will gain different effects depending on the number of materials on it. Now, some are more conditional, requires a very specific one, for example, the new Generated, which is a boss monster deck, which you can technically throw in Time Thieves in anything. They're just very generic rank 4 spam. In fact, it works quite well with Raid Raptors. You can actually go off completely with this deck, which is something we covered here. But there is a lot of other cards where it's just going to gain extra, effects depending on the number of materials. Obviously, we don't got this guy, although I'm pretty sure if we had this guy, you would just make it in some other form. But I was also thinking you can technically try to cheese a win condition with the Ghost Trick Exceed. I was just thinking of other uses outside of course, the generic use. But Angel of Mischief actually has an effect where if you can get 10 materials on it, you can win the duel. Now, that is obviously not going to be very easy, but that can definitely help out with that other effect that obviously that has, where you can target Exceed. It's any Exceed. And you get to attach a Time Thief card. Now, like, the most common play as far as Time Thieves would go wasn't actually just using Time Thieves themselves. The original play was pretty much you would use the Phantom Knight engine, and then you would basically make a rank 4, and then you would have, of course, the Phantom Knight as material. It doesn't really matter what the card does. It was just basically the Shade Brig. You basically would just have this as material, and all it would really come down to is you would activate the effect where if it has a trap, you get to go ahead and quick effect, detach it, and bounce one back. So I guess the ideal goal of the new card would be to bring... It's not, by the way, it's not in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro right now, but if it does come out and you guys want to send me in gameplay, would love to see what you guys can do with it. But this is what I'm thinking of as of right now. But feel free to send in any replays to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com of this in action. Again, it's probably it'll be out probably in a couple hours here because it just got announced. But anyways, you'd bring back this card, and then I guess you could, because remember, it has to be a Time Thief card that you're attaching to it. Obviously, these are going to be ideal because you can maybe recycle or kind of maybe manipulate the graveyard with a number of darks, but for the most part, I guess you could go with Flyback, attach it to his material, and then you get to potentially bounce one. It's basically after this card goes away, because this is like the go-to card, but this might just be a hint towards we're getting more Time Thieves, because as of right now, even if you run 3 copies of every single card that exists in Time Thieves, you're not making a Time Thief deck because, well, there's just not enough Time Thieves at all. But I'm actually really curious to see if we're getting exclusives for different archetypes, like, of course, the Time Thieves, which is, again, supposed to be TCG exclusive. And, dude, OCG is unfair. Okay, I was reading what people were saying on some forums, and people are really upset about this. But I'm curious to know how you guys, my viewers, feel about this. Do you guys think it's unfair that in the OCG, they get our TCG exclusives way faster, because we still are missing the Raid Raptor Link Monster. We're still missing, of course, Needle Fiber, which changes up the game and meta completely for a lot of different archetypes. But they not only get our cards, like, early on, but then they get exclusives for our exclusives? Like, that doesn't make sense. But I mean, I'm just glad, honestly, that there is finally a new Yu-Gi-Oh card. And I'm curious to see if anyone comes up with some crazy cheese with this card, because sometimes there's crazy interactions. But anyways, like I said, if they come out with dangerous stuff very, very soon, because they just announced this, there's probably going to be more announcements very soon. Like I said, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and turn on that bell, and you'll definitely be notified when it comes out. But like I said, if you guys want to send replays of this, love to see what you guys can do. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and I'm signing out. Peace.